and welcome back to Presley Mania. My name is Rhonda, and thank you so much for joining my show today. We are going to be talking some more about Priscilla Presley. I had hoped to move on down the road a little bit from this, but there are just more and more things that keep coming out. And since we are covering the lawsuits between her and Bridget Cruz and the companies that she and Bridget Cruz formed together, I wanted to give you an update on what is going on. Many of you may have already seen this. It's I think been posted on Facebook and has been on social media, but the judge in California. Remember, there are two cases, one in California, one in Florida. The one in California is the suit that Priscilla has filed against Bridget, and that's what we're talking about today. So the judge denied the defense stay motion in the Priscilla Presley fraud suit. So I want to read you a little bit about what was said here, what he said, and then we can talk about what's going on. Okay. Priscilla Presley won a round in court when a judge denied a motion by two of her former business associates to put on temporarily hold a fraud and elder abuse lawsuit she filed against them, in which she alleges she was bilked out of more than $1 million. So apparently, we'll stop right there for a minute. Apparently, Bridget had asked that the court put this particular suit on hold until the suit in Florida was over and that they had taken care of all of that. Because they've got two things. Actually, Bridget has three things going on right now. So she is juggling three different court cases. So she had asked that they put it on hold, and the judge said no. So it goes on to say, on Thursday, Santa Monica Superior Court Judge Mark H. Epstein rejected the bid by investor Kevin Fialco and Florida-based memorabilia auctioneer Bridget Cruz for a stay on the 79-year-old Presley's case until many of the same issues they say are involved in a case in Florida are resolved. Presley is the defendant in the Florida case. This is yet another in what seems to be a never-ending series of motions by the defendant to move this case out of California and into Florida, the judge wrote, noting that the defendants had previously tried to convince him without success that he did not have personal jurisdiction over the defendants. Okay, we're going to pause again for a minute. All right. Well, that's exactly what Priscilla is trying to do in the Florida case, is basically saying that the courts have no jurisdiction over her. So Bridget's trying to do the same thing in California. It's like a tit for tat kind of thing going on here. And but the judge in California said no go. The judge in Florida, however, they've already got an evidentiary hearing set up for that. And that is going to be on, let me look here. I've got it right here. June, I believe. No, July 21st, 2025 at 1:30, and they have 3 hours reserved for that. Now, that's in Florida, and we'll get back to that in a minute. Okay. Fialco and Cruz almost ignored the elder abuse allegations, which are not part of the Florida action. The judge further noted, adding that those claims are the beating heart of the California case. In their court papers in favor of the stay, the defense attorney stated that Presley claims relate to a business transaction centered on Florida and easily could be litigated in the active litigation already ongoing in the state, where a Florida judge could apply Florida law and manage Florida witnesses regarding Florida businesses. Presley profited from her involvement in the companies, planned to move to Florida to work more closely with the firms and to continue using her name, image, and likeness to her benefit, according to the defense attorney's pleadings. So that's according to Bridget and Kevin Fialco's attorney. But in her suit brought last July 18th, the ex-wife of Elvis Presley, and I'm so glad they said that, ex-wife, alleges that Fialco and Cruz schemed to separate her from her longtime advisors in order to cheat her out of more than $1 million. The alleged plan of action included forming various entities under Florida law, even though Presley lives in California. Okay, what does this mean exactly? Well, it means that they're going to go forward with the suit in California, that they are not going to hold it up for the suit in Florida to be done or try to join the two. So what does that mean for Priscilla? Well, it is definitely a win, and it is definitely something that is going to go in her favor, because remember, she has requested a jury trial by jury in California. So if this is not settled out of court, and indeed does go on, and they get to have a jury sit in, and a jury will decide whether or not Priscilla wins or loses. So what do I think this means for Bridget? Well, I don't think it bodes well. Because if Priscilla wins this suit in California, and the judge says that she was elderly abused and that the documents she signed are not valid, then I don't see how Bridget has a case in Florida. That's just how I see it. Y'all may have a different opinion. I would love to hear it. So that's what I'm going on here, is based on what we've just read. I feel like that we're going to have to wait and see what happens in California. And I'm curious, those documents there are so hard to come by because you have to pay for them. It's not like something you can just go and pull up and get them. So I do not have access to the California documents like we do for Florida. So I cannot delve deep into this case and try to get a feel one way or the other. I'm just having to go off what is being said in the media and base opinions on that. Now, I am hoping that Bridget's lawyers will be able to come back, and once they go to trial or whatever they do, have some things to refute what all Priscilla is saying, because Priscilla is claiming that she was elderly abused, and that, so I guess she must feel like she signed those papers and not, she has stated that she really didn't know what she was signing. Although they have videotapes of her signing them with the lawyer, and supposedly the lawyer explaining every single thing. So we will see. We'll see how that plays out in a court of law. But for now, Priscilla is up 1 and Bridget Cruz is 0. So I also wanted to talk about, there was a article that came out in Radar Online. And you know, you can take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's true, if it's not true, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it, because there are some things that is said in the article that gave me reasons to stop and kind of ponder on it. You know, I'm like going, and got my wheels turning a little bit. So let's talk about this. It says that Riley Keough is devastated over Grandma Priscilla Presley's latest court fight. She wants her to be left in peace. And it says that Riley's basically losing her marbles over Grandma Priscilla Presley's bitter court battle, that she is feeling guilty because she put her through another court case when they were trying to settle up on Lisa's trust. She feels like that she should be able to just enjoy her veteran years. She said if anyone deserves it, it's her. Now, this is what they're saying, she said. Did she really say it? I don't know, but I am just giving you snippets of what this Radar Online article said. And then it talks about when the lawsuit was filed and all this. But it says, earlier this month, Priscilla submitted a declaration stating she brought in a staggering $1 million from 34 paid appearances worldwide last year. According to Priscilla's recent filing, she stated she made 12 public appearances in 2023, but could not recall how much I actually received in income from the engagements. Does this sound familiar to any of you? Let me think. Oh, you know what? She said that in her deposition on the Bridget case. Oh, wait. She said that to Curry Grant. Oh, wait. She said that in her deposition in the Elvis divorce. Oh, no. She also said it in the trust. Oh, my gosh. Really? I'm sorry. I know that was a little sarcastic, but I just had to. Okay. Her filing continued. In 2024, I made 34 paid appearances worldwide, earning total gross revenue of approximately $1 million across 34 appearances. Priscilla further stated she had 2 bookings in Florida last year in which she earned $62,000. Okay, now this is the part that really got to me. My phone's going off. Excuse me a minute, y'all. Let me turn it on silent. Elvis's ex-wife added, "For my income, I rely heavily on my appearances, which are typically done as a part of a series of stage discussions I call an evening with Priscilla. Defendants know that this is my primary source of income and how I am able to pay my bills." Whoa. Okay, remember I've been saying all along that I think Priscilla she doesn't have any money. Why else would someone at this age be working like she is and, going out and doing all of this? And she just states right here, it is my primary source of income. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. A few years ago, when you look up on Google Priscilla Presley's net worth, it said she was worth about $50 million. Okay? Well, I looked up her net worth for, I believe it was 2024, or maybe it was for recently this year. And now they say she's worth about $10 million. But you've got to remember something. If this money is tied up in some kind of like property or things like that, it's not like cash on hand. It's not like where she can just get to it immediately. So in order to pay her bills, she's saying that she has to do these shows. That's what it sounds like to me. Like she doesn't have a choice. What about y'all? What do you think? Be sure and write it down in the comments below. She said that, and then there was one other thing I wanted to point out here. Remember in Bridget's lawsuit, she said that Priscilla came to her and Kevin Fialco and asked them to help her. That she was $700,000 in debt to the IRS alone. $700,000 she owed to the IRS alone. And that she was basically 60 days away from being insolvent, from being completely broke. She didn't have enough money to pay her bills. So my question is, how did she go from being worth $50 million to having nothing. Where did the money go? Let's talk about this a little bit. She goes on to say that basically Kevin and Bridget kept her away from all of her family, and that they were sending her cease and desist letters to stop working and doing all the things she's doing because they feel like it's interfering with the companies they formed, which I'm sure it is. They formed those companies in order to make money, but Priscilla is not doing it, so she's turned around and she's filed this suit. And she goes on to say, I have had to incur significant fees and costs trying to defend against these baseless, threatening letters. Okay, but let's think about that. Where did all the money that she had previously go? Why did she get to the point that she asked Kevin and Bridget to help her if she was worth $50 million and was 60 days away from insolvency? Her money was gone. So where was it? Now let's talk about some of the money she had. Okay, obviously the divorce from Elvis, but she made money off of those Naked Gun movies. She made money off of, oh my goodness gracious, starring in all the different shows that she did, to say nothing about the houses and property that she has sold. She sold her mom's house that her mom and dad lived in. Priscilla bought it for them, I think for like $170,000 in 1976, if memory is serving me correctly. And she ended up selling that house for $3.8 million. $3.8 million. And this is all prior to her not having any money. Okay? That's according to one source, that she sold it for 3.8. There was another source that said she sold that home, her mom and dad's home, for 5.5 million. Which is it? I don't know. But that's still a lot of money. Let's say it's 3.8. And she said she was doing that to help Lisa Marie because Lisa Marie was basically financially irresponsible. And she was going to help her and give her that money. Really? Something about that isn't ringing true to me. Okay, then she turns around and she sells. In 2006, she sold a property in Lake Arrowhead for, let's see, the asking price was $2.5 million, and it sold for close to that, is what the article said. Okay, so there's more money. And then she had sold out her name, image, and likeness for a $6.5 million payout. $6.5 million. It was the largest payout in her lifetime. There is a lot of money right here. And yes, it's over a span of years. But where did it all go? Why was she 60 days away from insolvency? And why now is she having to work so much? Now let's talk about when she sold her big mansion in Century City. She was asking $14.5 million. She ended up selling it for $13 million in December of 2020. Okay. Now a friend of mine has done some digging, and I know that apparently she had taken out a second lien on that, so she owed some money on it. So what she walked away from with this, I don't know, but she turned around and she bought a $4.8 million penthouse in Century City. I'm sorry, I said the house she sold was in Century City. That's not true. That was in I believe they're in Los Angeles. So this house or penthouse that she bought was 4.8 million, and it's in Century City, and that's where she's living now. Okay, so let's say maybe she walked away with another, let's be conservative. Let's say she maybe walked away with $1 million. But again, she's got all these sources, and she has had all these sources coming in. This is me throwing out an idea. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not. This is just a thought I have. And remember, this is my opinion for entertainment purposes only. Do you remember how Priscilla kept saying that Lisa was financially irresponsible, and they had done that deal with the Silverman deal, and Lisa walked away with a lot of money when she sold like 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, and she kept the 15 and all the house and all the land attached to the house and all of Elvis's personal artifacts and all that kind of stuff. Well, she sold that, and she ended up with a lot of money. Well, they turned around and they invested a lot of that money. I think it was Priscilla and Barry Siegel who did an investment, and they did some of it into American Idol. And anyway, the investments went bad. They went belly up, and they lost a lot of money. But even then, could maybe that be why Lisa didn't have any money? Could it be that it wasn't Lisa's fault? That the investment deals that her mom and Barry Siegel put together were bad deals and they lost the money? Could that be where some of Priscilla's money went? I don't know. Or could it be that when Lisa took Barry Siegel to court to get some of that money back, that her mother also owed her a bundle and was having to try to repay Lisa? Is that a possibility? I think it is. But again, this is just my opinion. I don't feel like there is any way that Lisa should have gone through as much money as they claim she did. I don't see how Priscilla has gone through this much money, and how you can just have no, what am I trying to say? I don't know how you can have so much money just a couple of years ago, or even say 5 years ago, and then all of a sudden you don't have anything. It had to go somewhere. So give it some food for thought. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, it's an interesting dilemma that she has gotten herself into, and it sure does make one want to dig deep and figure it out. We may never figure it out, you know. A lot of you are going to say, Rhonda, this is none of your business. But Elvis gave her a lot of money when they divorced. And she is the one who keeps saying that Lisa was not responsible with her money. She said it over and over, and she never gives Lisa any credit. And she always makes it look like that she is this, you know, business mogul who is so smart and good with money, but yet here we are, and she is having to work almost every single day at the young age of 79 to try and pay her bills. That's what she said. This is my primary source of income to pay my bills. So she doesn't have any other nest egg put away. It's interesting, isn't it? That's all I've got for today. Y'all remember, you only get one shot at this life, so live each day to the fullest, because you never know what tomorrow may bring. I will try and get another video out later this week. I was late getting this one out. Wasn't able to get one done last week. It was chemo week for my husband, and so the chemo rounds are getting increasingly more difficult for him. So it's hard for me to always get a video out, but I am trying to stay on top of things, and y'all just bear with me. We're going to get through all of this, but anyway, I just wanted y'all to know that I will try and have another one out this week to try to catch up a little bit. Elvis Week is coming up pretty soon, and they have released the list of names of people who are going to be there, and I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about it. Go over the prices and all those kind of things. So I will try to get that video out later so y'all can and bring you up to date. Most of you may already know, but it's always fun to talk about. Something to look forward to, isn't it? So anyway, I'll see all of you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.